Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meet Fit and Lean. If you're new, please hit that like and subscribe button. Well, folks, we're going to talk about goal setting and having a goal in mind for your fitness goals. It's very important, folks, to have an image or an idea of what you'd like to look like. Now, you don't want to look like Jabba the Hutt, so we can rule that out, right, folks? You want to look, of course, good. I guess if you want to look like Jabba the Hutt, been there, done that. But you want to have a good, healthy physique, but one that is realistic and attainable. So, folks, I've been going through, what are my fitness goals? What do I want? What kind of physique do I want to achieve in life? And it really comes down to, folks, the realization that I have to be very realistic, considering factors like age and general physicality, strength levels, stamina, experience, and just the basic idea that I don't want to kill myself in the gym. I don't want to be, deadlifting 850 pounds and have the thing break my neck. So I want to do it safely, and I would rather play it safe than overdo it. And as much as, as manly and masculine as I am, I do have a, sort of a cautious side as well. And I don't like to do things too reckless or crazy. So, folks, we have to determine what we'd like to look like. And I've been going through what I think what I could achieve, ultimately, is a soft Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that if I got to be like an off-season Arnold, that's kind of like, I have a picture of Arnold. Here's a picture of Arnold when he was off season. This is around 1980. Now, you see how he looks. I mean, he's got muscle there, but it's not like he's not all roided up. And it's an attainable goal. It's an attainable look for most people. You just want to not be fat. You want to have some muscularity. I don't know if my arms could ever get that big, but in general, that's what I want to look like. I also have an earlier version of Steve Reeves. This is a picture of Steve Reeves before he bulked up. This is when he was very young. So you can see that he has that nice, tiny, slender waist. He's not fat, but he doesn't look all bulked up or, all juiced up. He looks natural and normal, and it's very attainable for all age groups. Pretty much could attain that physique if they work hard enough. And this is that's what I've narrowed it down, folks, to a soft Arnold and a early Steve Reeves. I don't have superior genetics. I do have limitations, but folks, I'm a power lifter. So if you look at the body types here, here's the list of the body types right here for you. Now, I'm an endomorph. Standing close to 6 foot tall, not exactly. Endomorph, a big and tall physique. Now this can be a blessing or a curse. Endomorphs put on fat easily, but they also put on muscle easily. So as opposed to ectomorphs who have to work really hard to put on that muscle, an endomorph can put on muscle very easily, but we also get fat. We have to do lots more cardio. And I know someone suggested do cardio in the comments. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. Yes, I do agree that some cardio is necessary, especially if you're an endomorph type like me. Now, as you can see, folks, I do have some muscle there and here, especially right there, and you can see it. So it's not like I have no muscle at all. It's just, a lot of people say I'm just soft and doughy. Well, I'm the worst kind of body type there is. I call it fascular or fatscular, or yeah, it's where you're muscular and fat, and that's what you don't want to be. You want to look healthy. So there's also the swimmer types, and I love swimming, but I don't think that's going to be my main physique because that's not my main form of exercise. The wonderful thing about our bodies, folks, that were designed by God and not evolution, was that our bodies are very adaptable. So whatever you do, it will adapt. It adapts, and so the exercises that we do will shape how we look. So if you're a swimmer, if you do a bunch of exercises and mix them together, you'll have a different look than someone who's a power lifter. But folks, I can't stress enough the importance of diet and all of this. Now, Mike Metzger, who was supposed to be an expert on diet and nutrition, who actually died at the age of 49 because he popped a bunch of meth, but he suggested that calories, the total amount of calories, are your baseline for losing weight. And as much as that might work for some people, unfortunately, it's not true for everybody. It's not the total amount of calories. It's not only the calories, it's what you eat. So he was suggesting, yes, you could eat pizza all day, but as long as it was like under 1,200 calories, you drop weight. Well, that might work for some body types, but for the endomorph body type, it does not work that way. We have to eat healthy or else we will not lose weight. We don't have that luxury. So a mesomorph type can... a mesomorph type can obviously eat with more, more liberally. Oh boy, liberally. Eat like a communist, but they can eat more liberally and not put on all that weight as an endomorph would. So that's why, folks, we have to be realistic with our goals, and you have to determine, what do I want to look like? And for me, I would give anything to look like an off-season Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I think that he looked great. Actually, I think he looked better off-season than he did in his competitive phase. In 1975, that was when he was about 30 years old. That was peak Arnold, but to me, he looked all roided up. He looked like a roided monster. I don't want to look like that. And Arnold Schwarzenegger around 1980, early 80s, and then he was in Kindergarten Cop. He looked good in a suit. You want to look nice in a suit. You don't want to look like the whole point of bodybuilding is aesthetics. You want to look in proportion and you want to look good. Now, folks, I don't like bodybuilding really as a sport. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm doing it because it's the only option I have. If you don't build muscle, if you don't do that, you're just going to sit there like a fat blob, and you're going to keep recycling and repeating over and over. So I'm suggesting everybody, you got to find out what body type you have and determine the exercise that you need to do to achieve your ultimate ideal physique. Now, in an ideal world, I would I'd be really tall and slender, right? And I think, unfortunately, a lot of females prefer tall and skinny guys. That's what they like. Not like skinny fat, but they like skinny tall. But I am, about average medium height, but I have a very wide frame. But you're not going to look, you're not going to look like, you might not look like what most people consider ideal, but you have to work with your genetics, folks. Well, unfortunately, the Lord did not give me great genetics, but I don't have terrible genetics. I do have nice broad shoulders. See, folks, yeah, I have nice broad shoulders like that, and I have a good chest to work with, despite all the flab on top. But like most men, I'm stronger down below. I have really incredible leg strength. I have a weaker upper body, but I have incredible leg strength, and I think that's typical of most males. So that's what you have to do, depending on your gender as well. Those females have incredible upper body strength, at least the ones I know. So folks, that's what we're dealing with. We're picking out a realistic goal that you can work towards. Because if you don't have any goals, if you don't know what no image of what you want to be, you're just floundering around. You're not going to know what you're going to do. You're not going to know what you're doing. So that's what I'm putting out here. So let's hope I can become a soft Arnold by next year. Soft Arnold Schwarzenegger, and hopefully look great in my swimsuit and in my kilt. Yeah, I'm gonna buy a kilt, folks. I always make the joke when I get married. When I finally get married, I find my honey bunny, I'm gonna wear a kilt because it's part of my Scottish ancestry, and that's what I do because I look great in one. I got the legs for it. I got the legs. So, but no, Richard Simmons was wonderful. He motivated people to lose weight. I want to be the next Richard Simmons. I really do. I want to be a motivator like Richard Simmons. So I tell everybody I'm the straight version of Boy George. Yeah. So I hope you all enjoy this. I hope you all enjoy this video. Go to my website, meanscalesplace.com. And remember, folks, say a prayer for someone special today. Bye-bye.